All right, welcome back to House of Prep. I am Jerry. We've all had it happen before, whether you've been through a winter storm, a hurricane, a tornado, thunderstorm, some kind of work in your neighborhood, some event. We've had power go out. And when it does, wow, it's nice to have a few backup items, isn't it? To light up your house, you can continue your work, you continue your cooking, whatever it is that you're working on at home. You can still have some sort of a lifestyle of limit of living, and that you can still be able to do things that you want or need to do for you and your family. So let's talk about it for a little bit. First off, I do not own a generator. I'd like to have a generator. I'd love to have a solar generator, but even if it's a gas powered generator or one of those that's propane, or you can use it for either or. If you do have a generator, make sure you have enough fuel for your generator stocked up. If something were to happen to the power, and God forbid, if ever something ever seriously happened in our nation, we ever had an enemy set off an EMP up in our atmosphere and frying our electrical grid, more than ever would you start needing some more of primitive items of being able to light and to heat your home. And so it doesn't hurt to have things for backup. It doesn't hurt. Just like we do with food, just like we do with water, do the same thing with power needs. So generator would be awesome. And one day I am going to acquire one. And when I do, I will have a video on that. If you have a fireplace, I do not have a fireplace. That was a wish list on an item when we were buying a new home, but it didn't work out that way. So I do not have a fireplace. If you do, make sure you have plenty of firewood. Put firewood in your fireplace, or where you store it. That way, if you ever have that need, you would have that, and you could use it for cooking. If you want to do a fire pit in the backyard, that's not a bad idea as well. So I am going to be doing a fire pit in the backyard. So at some point, I'll do a video on that, and we'll show that I'll also have some firewood stocked up for that. So, all right, let's start over to the left, on my left here. Any type of battery operated lanterns and such. These things are really nice in a pinch. You have the power go out and you need some immediate light, especially if you have small children and they're starting to freak out, they're scared. There's a lot of noise. Maybe if it's a storm, lights go out. Have you some kind of a lantern, and these work great for camping, by the way. So I've done that before. They last a long time. I've had this thing probably a good probably 20 years, and it still works great. So when you have these, make sure you've also got plenty of battery backup for them as well. As you can see here, finding like a pack, like example for double A's, guaranteed 10 years. I mean, that's pretty good. Just like we do our food, make sure you rotate your batteries. You don't want them getting corroded and old and unusable, and then you end up just wasting money. So make sure that when you're stocking up with batteries, your D batteries, C's, AA, AAA, whatever it is that you're using for your electronics and such, make sure you are rotating your batteries. Use up your old ones first, and then just continue on down to the newer ones. So with that in mind, you obviously have your flashlights. Little tactical flashlights are nice. If you are in the complete black and you're also wanting to check the perimeter of your house, having some little flashlights are good. These are nice to have on a pinch. Just little glow sticks. So you get some of these. The kids love them. I used to, when the kids were little, power would go out. If we were when we were living in Florida at the time, we were going to be out for a couple days on power. The glow sticks are good. You could put them, make them a little necklace out of them, and the kids could have them around their neck. So no matter where they were going in the house, they would have a glow stick right there on them. And if you wanted to hang one in the bathroom or such, just an extra little ways to light up the home, and it can make it a little fun as well. I like me a good glow stick. Those are fun. Candles, always a source. You have to be careful with being a fire hazard, and some candles with all the extra fumes coming out. I mean, I personally don't like a ton of the smoke and the fumes coming from the wax and from the burning. I don't mind a little bit, but if you start overwhelming your house, you got a lot of stuff burning into the air. And, if you have a little bit of a breathing issue, your lungs might not really like all those chemicals. And I know they make different candles that are non-toxic and things like that. So make sure you research your candles. That's a good point. Don't just buy any old candle if it might affect you, and test them out. Make sure that they do well. If you maybe try them out one evening and see how everybody reacts to the candles and see if it causes any breathing problem. Plenty of matches. I always try to keep plenty stocked up matches. I keep some in my bug out bag, in the kitchen, with my dark out supplies. You want to just keep plenty of matches on hand. So many uses, not from candles, but lighting a grill, which I did want to talk about a grill. I do have a grill. It's a propane grill. Some of you also might have a charcoal grill, but they're not going to do you any good if you do not have the charcoal or the propane. So make sure that if you have a propane tank hooked up to your grill, have a spare, at least one. I do have one spare. I do have a storage container outside that has room for more. So I do plan to get a second spare just to have plenty of extra fuel. Because again, you never know, in some kind of a crisis or another shutdown, or supply chains interrupted, it may become very difficult coming up with more propane tanks if the supply runs out and everyone runs out and buys propane. Same with charcoal. So again, just have plenty of what you need. If you're not able to use your stove, being able to use your grill or throw some charcoal in a pit out back to be able to cook for heating elements, great to have that. Speaking of heating elements, getting a little portable propane fueled, you can use this as a backup heat source. And this one's called Mr. Heater, and it's the portable buddy. They work really well for small spaces, but again, if you're in a winter storm situation, power goes out, and unless you have some other ideas of things that you use, and hey, please throw some stuff in the comments of items and things you use in your house, of your experiences of power outages and things that work good for you or didn't work good for you. Throw those out in the comments. And if you've been noticing shortages on any of these things, also, hey, your area of the country, go ahead and shout out on that. Go let us know what's going on. And additional outside source, like if you're out grilling or in the back patio, or you want to take your family outside for some nighttime entertainment outside, maybe doing some things, getting a good Coleman lantern and another brand lantern, and then you'll be able to have some extra light while you guys are outside. Propane tanks, essential for that as well. So these are the smaller ones, so you can use these for your lantern or your big system. Now they do make the cables, and you could hook the cable right up to your large propane tank and hook them up to some of these other smaller units sometimes with the adapters. So again, that's something you just have to check your item, make sure that's something that you would be able to have and use. One thing I do not have, and I was actually seeing other people's videos and noticing, like in the background, people would have oil lamps. And I was like, I remember when I was a kid and growing up, and my mom always had a couple of oil lamps in the living room, and they'd always have some lamp oil in them. And I remember using them when there'd be some kind of a big storm that would knock out power for an evening or a day. I remember that sometimes they'd be lit up, and I just thought that those were really cool. So even if it's for nostalgia purposes, I am planning to pick up, maybe at the antique store here in town, get me one or two oil lamps, and they'd be kind of nice to kind of have around and get plenty of lamp oil. And then you don't have to deal with trying to find that stuff if everybody else is out running. So anyway, these are some ideas, some supplies, and some things that you have already. Maybe a couple of these things you're like, yeah, that's a great idea for me to grab one of those, and I forgot I haven't stocked up on this or that. And again, we're so focused a lot on food, which is super vital. You have to have that. Water, super important. But a lot of these other everyday items and things that we don't think about when we have the ease of our kitchen, if that's taken away from us, the lighting, electricity is taken away from us, it's nice to have a few of these extra things on hand and stocked up so we are better prepared and that we can continue our quality of life to the best of our ability for at least as long as we're able to. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Please hit the subscribe button. If you're returning back to my channel, thank you so much. I appreciate you all being here. Hit the like button for me as well for the video, and that really helps out. And you all have a great rest of the day, and I'll talk to you all in my next video.